traders, happy new year and welcome back to Profit on FX. I really hope you're having an amazing day whenever you're watching this video. So we are going to kickstart this year with a weekly forex forecast, and I really hope it will be of benefit to your trading this coming week. So before we start the forecast, I want to let you know that I have a Telegram channel where I post setups. Sometimes, occasionally, I post signals, though the main thing is explaining the setups and why I'm taking it. So feel free to join. You can also message me on this platform, and I'll be eager to reply to any of your suggestions or questions. So without further ado, let us begin this weekly forex forecast. We are going to kickstart with NZDJPY. Of course, there is AUDUSD above here, but I'm saving this for last. There's a lot of explanation I need to do on this currency pair. So let's start on NZDJPY. NZDJPY on the 4-hour time frame. We are seeing that price is currently or has recently made a bearish impulsive move to the downside. Of course, it's a bearish move. We've seen we have a horizontal level here that price has respected multiple times, and we are currently below that level. Price is using this horizontal level as resistance, so I'll be expecting, or I'm looking for short positions at this point. We have this 4H candle which closed bearish. It was the last candle before market close. So there's a number of rejections at this point, and I'll be looking to see a few more rejections after market open before I look to go short. Now, when we look at the daily time frame, we can see the market is choppy. We don't have a clear trend of where we are going, but recently we've seen price really struggling to move higher, and with this very huge bearish move, it may be an indication that we are likely to continue with this bearish trend. Some people may have drawn trend line at this point here, though I don't use trend lines that much. This may also add up to a confluence, considering price has respected this support trend line here multiple times before being able to break to the downside. So this is what I'm looking at in the DJPY setup. And I'll be looking to maybe get a sell entry if the setup plays out as anticipated. So we move on to CHFJPY. So CHFJPY, again, here we have a recent bearish move, though not as impulsive as this bullish move we saw here. We have a level here that price has sort of been respecting. However, though not clear, we may be respecting a certain support level at this area here, though I'm not looking at it that much. CHFJPY, it can go both ways. So in this case, let's move to the 1-hour time frame. In this case, we have a trend line here. We have a horizontal level here that is currently acting as resistance, and we are seeing price reacting to this level. We've seen multiple rejections of this level in the past. So currently price is still at this level. I'll be waiting to see what happens with the next few candles. If we see a few more rejections, probably around the next like 3 to 4 hour candles, see a few more rejections at this point, I may be looking to go short. However, if you see price start to break this level here, I'll be looking for the retests of this level, which is quite clear and it's very respected. I'll be looking for the retests before deciding to take a long position. So those are the two setups on CHFJPY. The market on this currency pair is not yet decided. It is not yet very clear as to whether the bulls will take control or the bears. So this is what I'm looking at on CHFJPY. Both setups may present a very great opportunity to trade. However, if the sell setup plays out, it may be a bit difficult to decide on our take profit area, because our next support level, or a level that price may bounce off, it's at around that area. And of course, if we enter just a normal trade without taking sniper entries and all that stuff, our risk reward ratio may be greatly affected. This may be a 1 to around 6, just to be safe. But for those who will be willing to trail, feel free to do so. Yeah, what I would advise is, once price reaches to this area, make sure you move your stop loss to around break even, or you start booking partial profits when price starts approaching the level at around 125.500. So those are the two setups on CHFJPY. We move on. CADJPY. CADJPY is a bit similar to CHFJPY, though there's some difference. When you start on the daily time frame, CADJPY is currently at a very major horizontal resistance. Price is currently trading at around 91.400, and it's very close to a very major resistance level. So at this point, let me zoom out. This area, we can see there is a horizontal level that price has been respecting for a very long time, since around October last year. You can see price bounce off of this level multiple times. Even recently we had a bounce off of this level at around 4th January this year. Price is currently at around the same area. So we have two scenarios that may play out, though I am a bit biased on taking a short position on this currency pair, considering this level to be quite critical. I'm still bearish on this currency pair, though there's an opportunity for price to break this level. Once price breaks this level, it is likely to be a high probability trade if you're taking a long position. We've seen fake outs before, though these fake outs are usually wiped out before the closure of the 4-hour candle. We've seen one here, we've seen another at around this point here. So let's start with the sell situation, or the sell setup. So I'll be looking for multiple rejections at around this point. Actually, I was to take, let's move first to the 1 hour time frame. I was to take a sell position at around this area once price broke back below and retested. However, I was not able to catch this move here, because when this setup here was forming, it was around 3 a.m. where I am. So I was not able to catch this setup. So I was waiting for at least another rejection off of this level. However, it did not play out. So I ended up missing that trade. Currently we are at this point here, we are seeing a bit of reaction. We don't yet have clear rejection, so we are having reaction. These candles are a bit too small. There is no enough information on these candles here, so I'll be looking for something like a bit of a drop here, then another rejection to be able to form maybe a double top here, and then from there I'll be looking to take short position, most probably to around my first take profit area will be at around this level here. It's around at 9,500. Then my last take profit area will be at this next horizontal level here at around 89,500. So those will be my two take profit levels if the sell setup plays out. On the other hand, if you are looking at the buy setup, okay, just a minute before we finish on that. If I'll be taking this short position here, I'll be looking to place my stop loss at an area or at a point above this red line here, because fake outs are real and they may happen before we see a drop. We've seen fake outs happen previously in this currency pair, so just to play it safe, we've seen fake outs happening here, so just to play it safe, it will be better to put your stop loss at a reasonable or at a safe place. So that's where my stop loss will be. Of course, the smaller the stop loss range, the better the risk to reward ratio, but this will be good enough for me. Then my first take profit area will be at around 2.5, and my last will be at around 1 to 5. So that's the sell setup. We move on to the buy setup. The buy setup is simple. A break of this level, a clear break, hopefully above this red line, which is sitting at around 91.718. A clear retest with rejections, hopefully a bullish momentum candle or a bullish pin bar. Then I'll be looking to take buys to this point here, where we see price again reacting. I will not be looking to hold my trade past that level, so that is most likely to be my final take profit area at around 92.450. Yeah, so that's the buy setup. That's what I'll be watching out for. And now let's move to our last currency pair, AUD US dollar. Now AUD US dollar, let's start on the daily time frame. You can see we are on a bearish trend. We have huge bearish impulsive moves, so I'm considering a sell position on this currency pair. Now let me start with the fundamental analysis on this currency pair. Now on Friday the 7th last week, we had the NFP news. The NFP news came out a bit confusing, or they were not, the news were not certain. We had good news and bad news, so there was a bit of confusion in the market. So let's move to what happened, and let's look at the analysis, the fundamental analysis. So we had the non-farm payroll being worse than expected. Then we had the unemployment rate being better than expected. Of course, the non-farm payroll was lower, which is bad, and unemployment rate was also lower, which is good. Now, I'm not a fundamental trader, however, I do keep track of the fundamentals in the market, and I also like to hear what other fundamental traders have to say. And in this case, what I've learned or what I've heard, and also what I've understood from what happened here, is that the unemployment rate is much better. So let me first explain the first case, or the first scenario of what the fundamental traders are saying. The unemployment rate being better than expected has more impact than the non-farm payrolls being worse than expected. So unemployment rate here being lower means the level of unemployment has reduced, or rather employment rate has increased, which is good for the economy. However, on this other case, the non-farm payrolls, as you know, the non-farm payrolls gives numbers of gives the number of jobs created or lost during that month. Here it was worse than expected. However, most people may consider the unemployment rate. Now, on the other case, during now with that first scenario, that first case, with this information here, we expect USD to get stronger. We expect the US dollar to get stronger and the bulls to get control of that market. However, for those fundamental traders who are against that kind of argument, are saying because the non-farm payroll was worse than expected, and it was way worse than expected because for the previous month was 249. From the consensus, people expecting the number of jobs created to increase to 400,000. However, the number was actually half of what the people were expecting. It was down to 199,000, which is less 201,000 what people now were expecting. However, in this case, on the unemployment rate, those who are bearish on the US dollar are arguing that the unemployment rate was 4.2. What the consensus were expecting was 4.1. However, it came out a little bit better than what they were expecting, but it was not that much better. It was not like it dropped to around 3.5 or something. It just dropped 0.2%. So those who are bearish on this market are arguing that the unemployment rate did not hold a lot of impact in this market, considering non-farm payrolls consensus and the actual were way off. Now, in my case, I am bullish on the US dollar because I believe the unemployment rate is more likely to have a huge impact in the economy than the non-farm payrolls. People are likely to look at the unemployment rates rather than the number of jobs created. Now, the reason I am trading the AUD US dollar is not just because of the US dollar, it's also because of the Australian dollar. Now, having my fundamental thesis on USD being bullish, I'm looking to short this market. To add on to my confluence, I have also some fundamentals on AUD. As you know, Australia is currently struggling with it's currently struggling with coronavirus. They're having a lot of trouble trying to contain that virus. Recently, I had news about this famous tennis player called, I think, Novak or something. He had trouble entering Australia because of the COVID vaccine. I also heard he tested positive. I mean, they're just struggling a lot with this COVID, and it's likely to impact the economy in a negative way. If you come and just search on Australia COVID, you can see the graph on the number of I think the number of new cases. Just look at how the graph has peaked at this point here. This is most likely to have a negative impact on the Australian economy. We are likely to see the Australian dollar lose strength or weaken. So on AUDUSD, my fundamentals on this currency pair is currently bearish. And also when we come now to a technical analysis, we can see that price was forming something sort of like a bearish flag here. We saw this formation here happening. We have trend lines. Recently we saw price break below this level. We are currently retesting a previous horizontal level, which is currently acting as resistance. I'll be looking to see multiple rejections at this point here before deciding to go short. Hopefully see something like a double top. When I mean a double top, I need to see price. First of all, price has already touched this level, as I need to see a bit of a drop to somewhere like here before we come back again, reject for the second time, and then I'll be looking to take short positions from that point. So that's my fundamental and technical analysis on this currency pair, and I'll be really looking forward to see if I'll find a trade setup or an entry on this currency pair. So that has been it for AUD/US dollar, and also that has been it for next week's currency, for next week's forex forecast. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, one thing or two. And if you have any suggestions, any questions, you can, or if just feel free to contact me on my Telegram channel. I'm mostly active on Telegram, and I'll be eager to respond back to you. So with that being said, I really hope you have a profitable week, profitable month, and a profitable 2022. So goodbye.